When does it become the Trump economy?
It partially is right now. I think the good parts are the Trump economy and the bad parts are the Biden economy.
Once again, huge thanks to Adam Mockler for doing the hard work and giving us the bigger picture. This interview with Trump is simply too important to ignore. From a Scandinavian perspective, we break down Trump's latest tariff confusion, where he claims someone else pays, then says it's no problem, then maybe it is. Plus his classic, "I've only read the headline of the Declaration of Independence" moment. And don't forget to head over to Adam's channel and subscribe to his amazing work. Let's dive in.
When does it become the Trump economy?
It partially is right now. I think the good parts are the Trump economy and the bad parts are the Biden economy.
That is a level of delusion that could only come from somebody like Donald Trump. Imagine the CEO of a business having a disastrous quarter. I mean, they lose a bunch of money, and he says, "Hey, I'm only responsible for this amazing new hire that we made. I'm not responsible for the quarter-over-quarter losses." When you are the head of something, when you are at the top, everything falls on you. The owner of a restaurant can't blame somebody who is just waiting tables when something goes terribly wrong. The buck stops with you, and Trump apparently never learned that in his 80 years of being a businessman.
So Trump claims the good parts of the US economy are thanks to him. And the bad parts? All Biden's fault. Strange, isn't it? That after just 4 months, he still can't seem to turn the entire US economy into a Trump-branded success. You'd almost think he's not very good at this. Or am I wrong? Adam Mockler is spot on with his CEO analogy. You don't get to play president when things go well, and then blame the waiter when it all goes wrong. If Trump still hasn't grasped that at nearly 80, maybe it's time someone explains it to him. Slowly. With crayons.
But this interview is incredibly scary. There are a few clips where Trump clearly doesn't know what due process is. He doesn't know what the Constitution is. He lies relentlessly about gas prices and egg prices. But there is one clip where he claims that gas prices are $1.88. It's been consistently above $3, sometimes even above $3.50 to $3.70. His massively unpredictable tariffs have only had negative effects on the economy. Here's Trump continuing to lie about the tariffs. By the way, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. Let's watch this.
But what people don't understand is, and this is a lot, the country eats the tariff, the company eats the tariff, and it's not passed along at all.
Well, some CEOs are saying they're going to have to pass it on. So how do you deal with those CEOs?
But the company...
He just said it doesn't get passed along, then he said it may. But also, it necessarily needs to get passed along. If you're importing something for $100,000 to sell, but then there's a $100,000 tariff placed on it, that means the total price was $200,000 and you're gonna have to sell it for more if you ever want to make a profit.
Let's just be honest. This is terrifying. Trump doesn't understand tariffs, due process, or the Constitution. And yet here he is, casually gaslighting the public about gas prices and trade. He says tariffs aren't passed along to consumers, then immediately backtracks with, "It may, it may." Which is it, Donald? You're either lying, confused, or both. Adam makes a great point. If tariffs go up like that, what company in their right mind just eats that cost? They'll pass it on. Otherwise, they go bankrupt. It's that simple. And honestly, if we followed Trump's logic in Scandinavia, we'd have supermarket shelves full of bankrupt logos and clearance stickers. Take Norway. We have extremely high tariffs on eggs, dairy, meat. And that's to protect our own high standards. Our beef, you can eat a teaspoon of it raw and live to tell the story. Try that with American meat and you'll either die or sue someone. There's a reason US meat is banned across Scandinavia and much of the EU. But none of this matters to Trump. Facts don't live in that man's head, just slogans. And if you think that's leadership, I've got a great deal on raw American chicken I'd love to sell you.
Well, some CEOs are saying they're going to have to pass it on. So how do you deal with those CEOs?
But the company,
how do you deal with those CEOs?
China is eating the tariffs right now.
What do you say to those CEOs who are saying we might have to pass this on to the consumer?
Well, they say that because maybe it's to their advantage to say it.
Will
Maybe
you punish them?
No, because you know what? I want them to build plants in the United States. That way they don't have any tariffs.
If you want them to build plants in the United States, you can do many other things. I mean, dude, Biden passed the Chips and Science Act, which was targeted towards semiconductors, but that incentivized so much manufacturing domestically because he created tax breaks, incentives, he created programs that work. What Trump is doing is pushing our allies away and trying to big everybody and act like that works. It doesn't work. If you want to rebuild manufacturing in America, number one, you need to leave a grace period of 12 months to 24 months for companies to actually import the supplies and begin building. If you're asking thousands of small business owners to build plants or whatever, it's not going to work. You need outside capital investment. There's never going to be outside capital investment, though, if you have an unpredictable ass economy, and that's what Trump has created.
Trump claims he wants CEOs to build factories in the US, so tariffs won't be a problem. That sounds great if you have the economic understanding of a toaster. Because here's how the real world works. Companies don't just snap their fingers and build a factory. It takes time, capital, planning, and yes, stability. Adam is absolutely right. If you want to bring manufacturing home, you need policies like Biden's CHIPS and Science Act, targeted incentives, tax breaks, and support programs that actually make investment possible. What Trump offers instead? Confusion, chaos, and empty threats. He bullies allies, alienates trade partners, and pretends it's all a genius strategy. It's not. It's a tantrum with a flag on it. In Scandinavia, we don't run our economies on ego. We have long-term strategies, small business support, and yes, actual planning. If we want local production, we invest in infrastructure, not slogans. And we certainly don't call CEOs liars on national TV and then ask them to invest billions the next day. Running a country like it's a casino might get you headlines. Running it like a country? That takes work. Something Trump clearly has no interest in.
I have one more clip to play for you all of Trump ranting about the stolen election. Just listen to what he says here.
And when I gave it over, when I handed it over, the election was rigged, and because of that, we have a lot of problems, by the way.
I like how he says he handed over the election. He didn't hand anything over. We had to pull him out kicking and screaming.
And because of that, we have a lot of problems, by the way. But when I handed it over, what happened? The market was higher than it was previous to COVID coming in.
Yeah.
Nobody could believe it. The stock market I'm talking about.
I don't want to look back, but you did take your case to court about that.
Back.
You took your case to court about your allegations against the election. Let me ask you,
There's no question about it. The election was rigged. The facts are in, and it's still being litigated. Let's go.
You did take your case to court more than 60 times and didn't win those cases. Just to button that up, though, sir. Just to button that up.
What are you talking about?
How
the election
worried are you?
Are we talking about the election?
Let's talk about here
Adam's
now.
right. Trump didn't hand over anything. He had to be practically airlifted out of the White House. But here's the real pattern. Trump isn't satisfied with being questioned, corrected, or even fact-checked. He's only satisfied when reporters surrender and agree with him, when the media bends to his version of reality.
And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute over that.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was Photoshop. So let me
That was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir. I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
All right. Well, we'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
That's not politics. That's not leadership. That's authoritarian performance art, straight from the Stephen Miller playbook. And this isn't Trump 2016. This is Project 2025 in a red hat. If truth doesn't serve him, he'll shout over it, deny it, and claim victory anyway. And if the media refuses to crawl, he calls them the enemy. That's not just dangerous, it's deliberate. I think we'll stop here. Too much Trump in one day is enough to make any sane person's brain hurt. Once again, huge thanks to Adam. He absolutely nails it. Go follow him on YouTube. I've linked his channel in the description. And until next time, like the video and consider subscribing here too. We can't let the West fall apart because of this buffoon.